Got a special report from Larry the Lizard's bass fishing reporter for you. Coming to you live from Clear Lake, California.
Larry the Lizard here. Got a nice one on my frog and craw as a jig trailer. We're here at Clear Lake. This looks like a solid 3-pounder here on the frog and craw.
Here we've had rain, heavy flooding, the water's stained, it's been cold. It's not typical for Northern California right now. The spawn should have started, weeks ago, probably a month ago it should have started. And actually, a month ago there were a few fish on beds, but they're real hard to find because they were really sticklers about what kind of area they would be in to be setting up beds early on for this season. And it's been a kind of a strange year with all the flooding and the storms coming through. So the spawn has been pushed back almost a month to a month and a half.
Getting some action on the 6-inch Rattlin Larry the Lizard here at Clear Lake. Got my hog lock hook in there. Oh, that's a good one.
The spawn is coming on big time, and it was great because the water temperature was getting up to 65 to 70 degrees in some places, and it was really drawing bigger fish up into the spawning bedding areas.
Oh yeah, that's on the oh, that's a female too. 6-inch Larry the Lizard in white. These bass are just starting to come up for the spawn here at Clear Lake. Nice little fat chunkers.
The 6-inch Larry the Lizard in Bloody Fork was a huge success, and it's my go-to bait. Bloody Fork is in the 6-inch is my go-to bait because it mimics a crawdad in its colors, but yet it's got that natural lizard that they hate. Plus, with the rattle chamber system, those bass are just like totally spinning, man, when they see this thing. So they just want to like. Another key player was the Rattlin frog and craw. Now the Bloody Fork color matched the crawdads that the bass were spitting up in my live well. So that thing is so close that it's sickening, and that just happened to be my first choice on this jig. Really set this thing off because every time I threw this thing in to where I thought there might be a bed, boom. I mean, it wasn't like 3 seconds and they were on this thing. I mean, I never felt them bite it or anything, but I just let it sink down to the bottom, let it sit there, and as soon as I just lifted up to try to tick it slackline a couple ticks, the next thing I know, they were just boom on there. So this thing is going to be a key player, is going to be a devastator on Clear Lake because I've got this thing throat hooked. Most guys won't do that, and I've got a weed guard that I've trimmed down. If you throat hook this thing, what you're going to do is you're going to allow this bait to stand up and fight no matter what kind of jig head you have, just like a real life crawdad. And when it swims like a real life crawdad too. And then you've got the dual rattle chambers in the legs. So this thing is phenomenal. It's not only a craw. I mean, when you see this thing in the water, it looks like a real life crawdad. You cannot tell the difference, and neither can the bass. But also what it does is, if I pop this off here, this is an awesome topwater frog or subsurface fishing frog. So you got the best of both worlds with this bait. Now what I've got here is this weed guard. I've trimmed it down, and then I'm just going to simply throat hook this guy right in the Adam's apple and drive the hook straight toward the nose, right in the center. But I'm not going to expose the hook, so I'm going to throat hook this, and I'm driving it straight. I want that head to be perfectly straight, and then the hook is going to just pop out when I press my finger against it. So you got that great action. It's going to stand up and fight. It's going to swim exactly right. You got your weed guard here, which helps keeps it totally weedless. I've got a football head jig on there. That's about 3/8 ounce football head jig because I want this going down fast, because I want these fish to react. When you put something down fast into a bedding bass's area, it's more of a reaction. A lot of times they'll hit this one on the very first time you cast it in there. So this one is phenomenal.